Capoeira is today is a Brazilian art form, and like Brazil, we very much mix cultures, and a huge chunk of that mixture is the African culture. Around the 16th century, the Portuguese began to bring the African people, mainly from the west coast of Africa, into Brazil as slaves. And with them they brought their culture, their traditions, their music, their beliefs. And then when they were taken to Brazil, the Portuguese tried to impose the Portuguese culture onto the African people, such as the religion and the language and all the customs. And in order for the African people to keep their identity, and even though they came from different sometimes tribes and regions, and they spoke different languages, they had to find something in common and to develop a way of escaping from this sort of situation that they were taken to. They began to develop a form of fighting so that they could free themselves from captivity. Free from captivity, they went into the interior of Brazil, where it would be hard for the Portuguese to find them. They were called the quilombos, and there were many in the northeast of Brazil. And they were like African communities, and there they were able to create many things as well as defense. And this was the very early stages of capoeira, a very different way of fighting, which would be very much based on the surprise. You're not showing aggression and trying to hide their fighting within a form of dance. And then began not only at the quilombos, but the very early stages at the slave quarters and the senzalas, where the slaves were kept. To the Portuguese, that was just a pastime or a dance, where they were in fact preparing a surprise attack. The game of capoeira is quite complex, and there isn't really like written rules, but we do have set things such as how to enter the game. So you always have to be in a sort of squatting position, facing one another in front of the main instruments called the berimbau. The person that's holding the berimbau is the most senior person. He or she will change the tune, which indicates that the players can enter the game. They will then shake hands. They enter the game through going onto their hands or heads with the movements such as a cartwheel. And then the berimbau will also determine when the players should end the game, and they will shake hands. If they for some reason have had contact, they leave it there in the circle, so there shouldn't be any sort of bad feelings between the two players. The first player to play the roda, sometimes they're waiting for a long time because they're waiting for the first song, which is called ladainha, which is a lament song, storytelling. You can't really play the game while a ladainha is being sung, because you've got to sit there, the tether berimbau, and listen to the story that the master is telling you. If you've got a group of young masters, the most senior master will start the roda and will start the singing, and will pass on to the other masters or most senior people. It's the master's right to stay in a roda for as long as the master wishes to. Capoeira today is all over Europe, in America, and also in Asia. I've heard places like Japan, Singapore, Australia. So it's all over. Everyone is doing it, and it's basically for everyone that wants to train. Classes are very mixed. We have men, women, and children as young as 10. To attend our classes, you have to come to a workshop that consists of 4 sessions. You go through the basics, and you have a little bit of an understanding. And then at the end of the full session, you are in a position to either continue or go on to doing something else, but with a good understanding of the basics. Initially, I think people come for all sorts of reasons. Once they're here, and then they discover all the other things that capoeira can provide them with, which is the music. Suddenly they never sung before, they will learn how to sing. They will learn a different culture, they will be interested in Brazilian culture, they might travel to Brazil. They become more confident they become fit, and that will help you with their work or whatever they do. An orchestra of 8 instruments. 3 of them are the beating bowls, and we would have 3 different gourds. They have 3 different names, and they will play 3 different rhythms. The next instrument to join in will be the 2 tambourines. Then will come the scraper, which is, we call it heku. Then the cowbell. Then the atabaque. So we involve set the tempo, slow, medium, fast. Here we tend to, in our style, we'll start slow. And we'll change into a more sort of medium tempo. And then we tend to go faster towards the very end of the harder when we want to end.